a solution in which more solute can be dissolved. That is termed as unsaturated solution. So the next we will discuss the next factor, that is the temperature. We know the Le-Chatelier's principle that if an equilibrium is attained, we see here there is an equilibrium. What is that one? Solute plus solvent. Solute plus solvent is to give solution. The process is termed as dissolution. And the next one is termed as, it means solution gives solute and solvent, that is known as crystallization. It means when the solution is saturated, then the rate of dissolution and crystallization is constant. It is same. When the rate of dissolution and crystallization is same, then the amount of solute in the solvent remains constant. That is known as saturated solution. Saturated solution, the amount of solute is termed as its solubility at a given temperature and pressure. It means a dynamic equilibrium is attained here. We will discuss what is the effect of temperature. Effect of temperature on solubility of solid in liquid. We have discussed Le-Chatelier's principle. Le-Chatelier's principle says that during equilibrium conditions, if a change is produced here, then the reaction will adjust itself in such a way to resist the cause which is responsible for its production. We know the Le-Chatelier's principle. That is, we have discussed in class 11th. If we want to, let us discuss what is the change produced here. If a reaction is exothermic, we know the exothermic reactions. It means when the reaction is accompanied, then the heat is evolved. It means heat is produced in that reaction. If in that reaction we are providing heat, then in order to adjust that provided heat, the reaction will proceed in forward direction to consume that provided heat. That is also an example of Le-Chatelier's principle. What we know that the effect of temperature is governed by the effect of temperature on solubility of solid in liquid is governed by Le-Chatelier's that is governed by Le-Chatelier's principle. That the first one, if the solubility of solute in a solvent is if the solubility of solute in a solvent is exothermic reaction, then the solubility increases with decreasing temperature and decreases with increasing temperature. Let us see when we have a solute plus solvent. It gives solution plus delta H. It is exothermic. It means when solute is dissolved in the solvent, it gives the solution together with the heat. If the heat produced in the reaction is consumed or it is removed here, how we can remove? We can remove the heat by decreasing the temperature. If this heat is removed, it means there is a change in this equilibrium. That, what is that one? Heat is removed here. Then the reaction will move in forward direction to maintain this heat, to accomplish this heat which is removed by decreasing temperature. It means if this dissolution of solute in the solvent is an exothermic reaction, then the dissolution will increase. This one is dissolution. Then the rate of dissolution will increases on removing heat by decreasing temperature. If you decrease the temperature in a reaction, in a dissolution which is exothermic, then it will proceed in this direction. It means the dissolution increases. But to the next one, if the solubility of solute is an exothermic reaction, this one, then the solubility increases. When the solubility increases, this one dissolution increases with decreasing temperature on removing heat. When we remove the heat, then this will move in forward direction. It means the rate of dissolution increases, the rate of solubility increases. To the next one, if the solubility of solute in a solvent is endothermic, then the solubility of solute increases with increasing temperature and decreases with decreasing temperature. Let us see how this happens. If we have this one reaction, solute plus solvent is to give solution. If the reaction is endothermic, then we have delta H here. This shows endothermic. It means the heat is required to proceed in this direction. In this reactions, in this condition, in this equilibrium conditions, we know heat is required. When we increase the temperature, it means when heat is provided here, this will increase the amount of heat here. When the amount of heat increases here, then the reaction will proceed in forward direction to utilize the increased heat. Let us see once again. This is a reaction in which this is an endothermic reaction and an equilibrium is attained here. Here the reaction is endothermic. When we increase the heat, then this delta H increases. When delta H increases, then the reaction moves in forward direction. Why? To utilize that increased heat. To utilize this increased heat, the reaction moves in forward direction and a new equilibrium is attained. What we know, in case of exothermic reactions, when the dissolution is exothermic, then the rate of dissolution increases on decreasing temperature and the rate of dissolution decreases on, it means in case of exothermic reaction, the solubility increases on decreasing temperature and the solubility decreases on increasing temperature. To the next one, if the reaction is endothermic, in endothermic reaction, the solubility increases with increasing temperature and decreases with decreasing temperature. This is all about the effect of temperature on the solubility of solid in a liquid. We will discuss the effect of pressure on the solubility of solid in a liquid. We know that the solid together with liquid is incompressible. It means that the solid and liquid has not the effect of changing pressure. That's why there is no effect on the solubility of solid in liquid on changing pressure. This is how we will discuss the solubility of solid in liquid. This depends upon the nature of solute and the nature of solvent. The next one is the temperature, that is governed by the Le Chatelier principle, and the next one is pressure. Let us discuss the solubility of gas in a liquid. The next one we have solubility of gas in liquid. We have discussed the solubility of solid in liquid in the previous section. Now we will discuss the solubility of gas in a liquid. We know the gas is soluble, as we have a good example that the water, it contains dissolved oxygen into that, which is very important for aquatic life form. The next one, the gas hydrochloric acid, it is highly soluble. It means we know that the gases are soluble in water or solvent. We'll know how pressure is going to affect the solubility of a gas in a liquid. It means what we know. Let us know the effect of pressure in the solubility of gas in a liquid by taking one example. If we have a container here and we have a solvent here, to that we have attained a piston here having a weight W1. Here gases are. It means in this container, let us take, we have taken water as a solvent, and above the solvent what we have the gases. When we have such type of conditions, such type of apparatus, then in that condition an equilibrium is there. It means an equilibrium is attained and is attained here. It means when we have a closed system, it means in this condition, what is the equilibrium? Let us discuss. It means the gases, some of the gases will dissolve and some of the gases will escape out. Due to this condition, an equilibrium is attained here. Let us know the change which is produced by changing the pressure. We have the same container having the same amount of liquid into it. But here what we are going to do, we are going to increase the weight. This one is W1, W2, W3. It means what we have done here, we are going to increase the weight. It means we are going to increase the pressure. when we increase the pressure, what we see on increasing pressure, the number of gaseous molecules per unit volume increases. It means when we increase the pressure, let us see, here is such amount of volume and the same gas is here, but by increasing pressure we are going to decrease the volume. What we see here, by doing so, by increasing pressure, the number of gaseous molecule per unit volume increases. Then the equilibrium is disturbed, and when the equilibrium is disturbed, then more and more gaseous molecule will dissolve in this solvent and a new equilibrium is attained once again. But what is the change here? We see by changing the pressure from here to here, by increasing the pressure from here to here, what we see that the dissolution of gas in a liquid increases. That means what we have conclusion, that by increasing pressure, the solubility of gas in a liquid, by increasing pressure, the solubility of a gas in a liquid increases. What we have the conclusion on increasing pressure, the solubility of a gas in a liquid increases. That was first. Henry states that at constant temperature, the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to its partial pressure over the solution. What means, let's discuss Henry law. Here the temperature is constant. At constant temperature, the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to its partial pressure over the solution. This conclusion was also observed by Daltons. It means Daltons also observed that the solubility of a gas in a liquid at constant temperature is directly proportional to its partial pressure. If we assume the mole fraction of the gas in a liquid as its solubility, we'll discuss. It means if we assume the mole fraction of the gas, let us discuss X gas. This is the mole fraction of gas in this liquid as a measure of solubility. Then what we have? We have that the mole fraction of a gas in a liquid at a constant temperature is directly proportional to its partial pressure. It means if we assume the mole fraction, that is X gas, mole fraction of gas in a liquid as a measure of its solubility, then we can say that the mole fraction of the solute the mole fraction of a gas in a solvent is directly proportional to its partial pressure. But here a new term comes, partial pressure. Partial pressure, what it means? Partial pressure means if here various gases are there. Here oxygen is there, nitrogen is there, hydrogen is there. And if we are discussing the mole fraction of oxygen, then the mole fraction of the oxygen in this water or the solvent is directly proportional to the pressure of only and only oxygen. It will not depend upon the total pressure. It will not depend upon the pressure of nitrogen. It will not depend upon the pressure of hydrogen. It means it will only and only depends on the pressure only and only due to oxygen. It means what we conclude? We conclude from this statement that the mole fraction of a liquid is a measure of its solubility. Then we can see that the mole fraction of a gas in a solvent is directly proportional to its partial pressure. This can be expressed as P is directly proportional to X, where what we have, P is partial pressure of gas, and X is the mole fraction of that particular gas dissolved in solvent. So the next we will discuss what we know. We know the mole fraction of the gas dissolved in a solvent is directly proportional to its partial pressure. By introducing a proportionality constant, we have the equation that